There we go. Can y'all hear me? There we go. We're we're gonna give it a few seconds here. Give them about 2 more seconds. 2 more seconds. Can you see me? What's up, Brett?
You can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go, buddy. Oh, we already are live.
Yeah, we're already on. Welcome to Talking Horror with Marco. Join us today is Brett Big Swag Wagner. He's known as Kemper Kill Leatherface, the 2003 remake. Tell us on how you got started in that film.
How I got started on that film or in the business?
No, in the business.
So I was, I was probably 16, 17 years old. I used to love watching, horror movies and the Twilight Zone and all that stuff. So when I got to be about 20 years old, I knew I wanted to be an actor and just started taking acting classes. And, 35 years later, I'm still doing it. I mean, it didn't happen right away. It took a lot of many years of I would work bars at night, and then so I could have my days free to audition. And then, you got to be a semi decent actor, but if you can last 35 years, you've done pretty good. So that's how I got started.
That's good. And how did you learn about this role for Leatherface?
So when we saw that they were casting. They were looking to do local hires in Texas, which means they'll just they hired their big actors, and then they probably were just going to look for an ex-football player or something from the Dallas Cowboys or some big bouncer out there. And I saw one. I was so angry about it because I was like, man, what a role to be able to play. And then I saw one day when I went in for a commercial audition, I saw something that said TCM, and they were trying to cast somebody for that movie, a smaller part. And I called my commercial agent and I said, hey, this commercial casting lady is casting, says TCM, which I imagine is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I said, can you see if they have cast Leatherface yet? And if they have not, can she put me on camera for the, the production? And she called my agent and said, no, he can come in. And so I went in and I auditioned, and Michael Bay thought I was funny, and I got the gig.
Congrats. And other question, and why do they call you Lost Leatherface?
Well, because during the filming, like 2 days into filming, I got a heat stroke. And, 3 days later, they had Andrew Bonarski coming in to take over the role. And so for, like 20 years, not 20 years, but not many people, I didn't talk about it. I didn't get the credits. My name wasn't in the credits for doing that first kill.
Yeah.
But even though everybody knows I did it. So I just didn't talk about it. Then when some people started, Fangoria magazine and Horror Hound magazine was doing a thing on all the people that played Leatherface, and they mentioned me. Then some people wanted me to start doing some conventions, but they didn't know there was another guy that originally was cast to play Leatherface, so people call me the Lost Leatherface.
Yeah, at least it's. And what was your second horror film that you done?
Well, I did a lot. So I was in the movie The Crazies in 2010 with Timothy Oliphant, which was very fun. I mean, I've been in a movie John Dies at the End, directed by Don Coscarelli. I've been in a horror movie called Chrome Skull. I mean, Amityville Moon. I mean, I got a movie we just filmed this year with director Sean C. Phillips called Desert Fiends.
What is that?
The Only Ones. A movie called The Unseen by Steve Merlot, who's a Canadian director. We're going to be doing that later this year. Then Buffy, Angel, a whole bunch of stuff.
Wow. Seems you've been kind of busy this year. What was your favorite kill in Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Well, I only do, obviously it's the first one because that's the only kill I do. I love the sledgehammer to the head and dragging Eric Balfour and slamming that door shut. So that's obviously
the famous Gunnar Hansen door shut.
That's right. So I remember when I told Gunnar Hansen when I met him.
I have the original one right here.
There it is. So when I met Gunnar Hansen, he didn't know that there was another guy that actually did that. He was very surprised, but was very nice and talked to me for about an hour about it, and wouldn't let me pay him to get him to sign some Funko Pops for me. Said, "You're not paying," and I tried to pay, but he wouldn't take the money. So he was a really good guy, and there'll never be a better Leatherface than him. But there's so many guys that have done very well at it. The R.A. Mihailovs and the Dan Yeagers and Bill Johnsons, Bob Elmore. All these guys have brought something special to the character, and even I, with my little quick scene, did something that I thought was cool. So
yeah. That was interesting. That was the first kill of the movie. And whenever you drug him, what was he on?
What?
Whenever you drug him to the basement, what was he on?
What was he on? We were just dragging him across the floor. Now, when I got my heat stroke and I had to go outside, and when I came back in, I hurt my my back, my muscles tensed up. So at one point, one of the guys that was working had a skateboard in his car. So to make it easier for me, they put him on a skateboard. Still hurt, but it did help a little bit. But we were just dragging him across the floor in that old house, man, with black mold on the walls.
Yeah, actually, 2 months ago, I actually went to a horror convention in Bastrop, Cult Classics.
Yep.
And I met Douglas Tate, and then I met Brad Lorry from Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah, Brad's a good guy. Doug's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, he is. He's really nice. So we went to go check out the 1974 gas station.
That's right. Well, that's very cool. That owned by Mr. Rose, and I'm going to be doing the Cult Classic in Baton Rouge in September for him. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I think that was like the big news this year is that they wanted to take it out of Texas. And then I want to say this summer 2017, I went to the 1974 house. So
I don't think that's there anymore, right? They tore that down?
No, they just relocated it.
Okay.
It's a restaurant now.
Oh, that's right. They turned it into a restaurant. You are right. That's pretty cool, man. I'd never been there. I'm going to be going out in November for the Myers House, North Carolina, Myers House NC on Facebook, and the guy that owns that, his name is Kenny, and he does a thing where we go watch the movie. So we're going to go watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, my version, the 2003, at the gas station that was in our movie.
Mm-hmm.
with R. Lee Ermey when he was over at the gas station, and they pull in. So we're going to go watch the movie there, and I'm going to come in full Leatherface costume and sign some pictures right there, buddy. That's right.
And then I got this. Yeah, I actually want to meet you so you can actually sign these too.
Yeah, I like that. I love the Toonie Tears.
Yeah, the Toonie Tears, they do good on them. And any horror conventions that you're doing soon?
Yes, I'm going to be doing the Buffalo in Buffalo. Well, that's not a horror convention, but the
It's like
Nickel
more
City
of a con, huh?
convention, Nickel City Con up there in Buffalo. At the end, so July 1st and 2nd up in Buffalo, New York, and then I got Midwest Monster Fest in Illinois. I have Scare Fest in Lexington, Kentucky, towards the end of the year. I have, I got Crypticon Denver.
With Douglas Tate, I seen that he's going over there.
Yeah, my buddy Doug Tate's going to be there.
He's hilarious.
He is a funny
Really,
guy, not only funny
really,
looking, but a
really.
funny dude.
Yeah, I actually got this mask signed by him right there.
I
So,
see that. Very nice. Yeah, Doug's a good
yeah,
guy, very good actor.
really nice guy.
Works very hard at this stuff.
Really nice guy.
So yeah,
He actually did good for doing Michael Myers, though. He did really good.
well, what else has he played?
Jack Links, the Sasquatch,
And
Jason.
Jason, that's right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then,
Doug's is a good actor. He's been very
yeah,
lucky.
yeah.
He's been very lucky to get some of these good. You know, he's continued to get, besides just being an all around actor. He's got some really good gigs on the horror tip in
Really
some of
does.
these movies. So.
Mm-hmm. And was it like whenever? And did they say how you got the heat stroke or?
Well, yeah. I mean, I could tell you how I got the heat stroke. I was very big at 350 pounds, and
Oh wow.
then I had all these layers of clothes on. Sometimes you can get a cool suit, and you can have that underneath. That's what Mike Myers and these guys wore.
Wasn't it like it looks like an ice pack vest?
Yeah, so that goes on underneath, and that probably would have saved me. But you know, things happen. That's just the way it is, and it's taken 20 years, but I've come to grips with it. So you know, at least I can say I was still Leatherface for the first kill in the movie, which is still a big deal to a lot of people.
That was big.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, not many people. You can count how many people have played Leatherface. So at least I got to play him for a couple days.
Mm-hmm. And I actually feel you right there because I've been mascotting for 6 years already, going on 7. So I know what it feels to be wearing all those too much layering of clothes.
Oh yeah, you get super hot, then you throw the mask on, then you throw the thermal on underneath that I had, and then you throw the apron on, and it's you got to be careful. Now, if I would have, I was very excited and wasn't thinking about it. If I would have, drank a whole bunch of Gatorades at that point beforehand, then I probably would have finished that movie and gone on to do the second movie they did, and it is what it is. But we got a lot of hope. I'm real excited about our new movie, Desert Fiends. It's going to be the grossest horror movie you've ever seen in your life.
Wow. Is that one coming out next year or this year?
It might come out by the end of the year. I'm hoping by October. That depends on Sean C. Phillips, our director, and our editor, if they can get it. Eric Yoder, who's also an amazing makeup guy, if they can get that all edited and done. And then hopefully we start on Desert Fiends too. But a lot of great people in the movie. Scout Taylor Compton, Tom Arnold, Robert Lasardo.
July I'm supposed to be going. I'm for sure going to go meet Danielle Harris. Yeah, they're bringing her up to the gas station in Bastrop. So.
Yeah, Danielle Harris is her and Scout Taylor Compton are really cool folks, and
yeah, their podcast. But anybody in the comments have questions for Big Swag? What else? Oh, and question. Whenever you do your conventions, are your sledgehammers real?
Well, that would be a lot of weight, and they wouldn't let me fly with them. No, so they're prop sledgehammers made by
They're
a company
they're
Scared
foam,
City
right?
out. Yeah, Scared
They're
City
foam.
out of Arkansas. They make them, and they are very cool. They look realistic, very light. So I'm
They
very
do look
lucky that we get to
realistic.
travel with those. I'll ship them beforehand, Marco. I'll ship them to wherever I'm going, and then I'll pick them up.
Oh, that's good. And they'll just hold them right there for you.
Yeah, of course. So you can either, when you're doing conventions like that, you can either ship them to the hotel. And you call the hotel ahead of time and say, "Hey, I'm sending some stuff out. Can you please hold it for me?" But it's nicer and easier to send them to the promoter, or if you have a friend that lives in the area, I can always ship
Yeah,
stuff to them.
yeah, but no. Other than that, that's pretty much a big deal. Working with Eric Balford. Is there is there any chance that we might get a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Oh, I'm sure. I think Netflix has. I think they are going to shoot at least one or two more. I think that franchise, Marco, is going to go on be long before after I am dead, and they'll keep
Yeah,
making movies. It's one of those things that as long as now listen, there hasn't. They tried to do one a couple years ago that with the kids version, which is the only one I ever did not like, and you know, uh, the new one with Mark Burnham, I like on Netflix, and I think Netflix is going to do at least two more. So, yeah,
hmm.
there'll be some more. There'll be some out in the next year or two.
What was it like working with Eric Balford?
Well, Eric Balfour is pretty cool. He was all business. I'll tell you, when I hit him with the sledgehammer the first couple of times, he's like kept saying, "Hit me harder." So, which I did. That was like a rubber. A rubber. I'm trying to remember. It's been so long. It's been 20
Was it
years.
like a
So
rubber mallet, sort of
yeah, it
like a
was a
rubber
big
mallet?
rubber thing. I mean, I hit him in the shoulder blades pretty hard. I heard him once or
Uh,
twice go, "Oof."
so like what I was looking at from the film, it looks like you like got him like on the side of the head, which
I think I hit him in the middle of his back, to be honest with you. It just looks good.
uh, you did really good. And then with the famous door slamming,
I was in so much pain, Marco, when I slammed that door. I don't know how I did it, to be honest with you.
but Andrew Binarski took over for you. That's good.
Yes, he did right after that.
So if you would have not gotten injured for that whole film, you would have done the beginning too.
Well, I would have hoped to think that they would have asked me 3 years later to do it. Yeah, I mean, you never know, of course, but I'm sure that because it was the same production company, if I would have finished that movie, I'm sure I would have been asked to do the second one, which would have been pretty. Look at it, just would have been. It was just an honor to even get the part. It was an
Hmm.
honor even just to do that first kill. Of course, I was very bummed when I got the heat stroke, and then my back tightened up, and I understand. It's a 17-20 million dollar movie. They don't have time for the big swag to heal a week to get back,
Hmm.
ready. So it's one of those things that just happens. And if you last long enough in this business and you're a physical actor, uh,
Hmm.
you're bound to get hurt or whatnot sometimes. So hopefully that was my only time.
Yeah, hopefully, NC Myers house. Hopefully, he can do a second screening in Texas for that.
That's right. So they had the first screening is sold out, and
November the 18th, I believe,
it
if I'm
is
wrong.
November. That is a good
18th.
question. November 17th or 18th. Yeah, I believe you were right. That weekend, that Saturday
Hmm.
in November. But I know the first screening sold out. They're trying to see if they
If
can
they can
do
get in
another
there.
screening. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll be down there with the full costume and
That'll
pictures
be
and Funko Pops and sledgehammers. So And we'll be signing Toonie Terrors.
Tuning tears. Actually, I have a Michael Myers one back there.
I see that. All right, Marco. Last question of the evening. What do you got for me?
Let me. How did you like the Texas weather during filming?
Which one?
The Texas weather.
Oh, well, it sucks.
It sucks.
It gets hot. Well, you're out there, right?
Yeah, I'm like an
So
hour away from Austin.
it gets so humid out there. And we were filming, I believe, in July or August. It was so humid, Marco, that, I just, and so I learned a valuable lesson, right? Not only, when you get kicked off a movie, well, not kicked off, but when you get let go from a movie because you got heat stroke, you learn a valuable lesson. And now even, I walk a mile or two every day trying to stay in decent shape at 55 years old. So, I'm always drinking, and it's not just water, it's potassium you lose when you sweat. So that's the problem. So bananas, Gatorade, all that stuff will definitely save your butt. So
Yeah, actually, as senior and junior year, I used to be an athletic trainer. They always tell me if you got a cramp, drink pickle juice, or not Pedialyte. Pedialyte will keep you good, actually.
pickle juice, eh?
Yeah, pickle juice is actually good for your cramps.
I like pickle juice. I could do that.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
Marco, you need to start your own company, the Marco Pickle Juice Company, just pickle juice for athletes. And
yeah, I'm thinking about doing that though. But does anybody have questions for Brett Wagner?
let's get one question from the folks listening and watching. Well, there you have it, folks. Marco.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, buddy, for the interview.
Oh, you're welcome. And I was gonna ask you, can you show us your Leatherface mask?
I don't have them right now. They're getting touched up.
Oh.
So I gotta time to time you gotta send it back to the guy that made it, and he's got to do a little paint job for you because you sweat enough.
Yeah, and then
you do enough stuff that sometimes it gets they need to be touched up. But yeah, it's I'm very lucky. If you want something like that, there's a company. In fact, they're making me a new mask right now. Horror School Customs on Instagram and on Facebook. But on Instagram, if you go to Horror School Customs, they are making the ultimate Wagner mask, as we call it, because there's the Hewitt mask, which Andrew wore, and then there's mine that I wore. So that is getting done. What was that?
So is a Hewitt mask and your mask different?
Yeah. So we got both different facial structures. If you look at Trick or Treat Studios put out years ago, they put out the mask from the our movie, and that is based off of my mold that I did for Scott Stoddard, who did the deal with Trick or Treat Studios for his version of the mask. So that's my mold. And then there's a couple people that make different masks, and there's a difference between mine and Andrew's. So yeah, so Horror School Customs does both. They do the Hewitt mask, which is one like Andrew wore, and then they do the brand new Wagner mask, which is coming out, which is just amazing.
And I was going to tell you, the Hewitt mask is whenever half of his lip is missing, correct?
No, I mean, there's subtle differences. So if you watch, the movie, and you can see if you watch my scene, mine's a little different, and then it's just differences. So I mean, and then Andrew's mask is a little different as well. So, but we'll show you when it's done.
All right. All righty. Well, thank you for coming on here and telling us about your films are. Oh, and one question: is there any new films that you're coming out this year with besides the ones that you were talking about?
Yeah, I'm in a movie called Fool's Paradise right now. I got a small
Hmm.
part playing John Malkovich's bodyguard and limo driver with Kate Beckinsale's in it. It's at the movie theaters right now. It's called Fool's Paradise. Charlie Day from
I'm
Everything
gonna go
Sunny
see
in
that.
Philadelphia. One of Ray Liotta's last movies. Kate Beckinsale. Um, God, Ken Jeong's in it. So many people, and I got a cool part in it. So that's out at
That's
the movie
dope.
theaters. And then watch for Desert Fiends. Watch
Desert
for
King,
a movie called The Grind that might be all
The
out
Grind.
by the end of this year. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. And then The Only Ones, which is out, so which is coming out. So that's about it, unless I book something else.
Oh, and what book do you have out?
What book?
Yeah.
I wrote a self-help, a funny self-help book, maybe 15 years ago, with a writer named Bruce Collins. He's also a
Hmm.
big wrestling fan. So we wrote this book, The Big Schwag Self-Help Guide for Complete Losers Like You. That's what it's called. I'm not calling you a loser, Marco, but that's what it's called. And I think
That's
they have
funny.
one on eBay for like $999. Some guy's trying to sell it.
Wow.
All right, my friend.
All right.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you. Thank you
And
for coming
I
on
will
here.
talk to you soon.
All right.
All right, buddy.
There you have it, guys. It's Brett Wagner.